Diamond training. As always, this training will be recorded. As always, too, when I complete the training, I'll turn the recording off and spend a couple of minutes online answering any questions. But for today's training, and for those that were at the university, we had 1,000 people, packed house, sold out event in Sydney on the weekend. I did a training on recruitment, and I thought it was a great time because I issued a challenge called Mission Next 30, and we'll talk about that later on in the challenge. But this presentation is really to help you improve your skills in all areas of recruitment. When I talk about improve your skills, what I'm really it's a full package. It's talking about areas to improve in, which will overall help you become a better recruiter. It's really important to understand the importance of recruiting. So many people out there that will bring 10 people into the business when they get started, and then they'll go into what's called management mode. And management mode is, hey, I've done my fair share of recruiting. Now I'm going to sit back and watch the fruits of my little labor. And you see a lot of people fall into that trap, and they really mortgage their self against just a few people. And often, if you've only brought 10 people into the business, you're really network marketing gambling. I often use the metaphor of farming. If you introduce one person to a network, it's like the equivalent of planting one seed in your paddock. And if you're a farmer and you plant one seed, you often grow one plant. But if you plant lots of seeds, you usually can grow a crop, and that crop can then get ready to be harvested. So in network marketing terms, I say you've got to lay as many seeds or as many foundations as you possibly can if you truly want to build an incredible business. And when people start Gen-S and they want to get started the right way, my first goal is to shoot for 30 enrollments as quick as you can, because most times, apart from the fact you see people hit that sapphire level, which is the start of building a real business. And when I say a real business, the reason I say the start of, because if you can share the information well enough to recruit a person, and then you can teach them to do the same. So if you can recruit someone and develop an executive and repeat that at least 12 times, you've done all the foundational stuff to build a business. Then it's just simply repeat until you find those leaders. But off 30 enrollments, I often see most people, if their network isn't a customer-based network, most people will have 2 to 4 people that have started their journey to 30. So if you're only going to enroll 10 people, you may not even have one person that's prepared to go on that journey. So recruitment is arguably one of the most, or it is probably the most important part of your business. Now, if you want it to be a hobby, well, that's a different story. But if you want it to be a business, you really need to have a heavy focus on it. And we'll talk about the reasons why you need to have a heavy focus on it. A, because of the comp plan, and B, because of the psychology. So let's first of all talk about the comp plan and understanding the background of Wendy Lewis and her consulting career in regards to consulting many companies on designing comp plan. She always looks at building something with balance, building something that can be built to last, but it's got to have enough money in the upfront to tickle your fancy, but also people get into this industry to build a network. And if you're going to have, you really need a good residual for, if you're going to go and build a business, that residual's got to be there to entice you to stay in the game. So let's have a look at the comp plan dynamics. Customer acquisition bonus. It's that once-off sales rep bonus. Introduce someone to the small package, $25. The biggest package, $250. And then there's in between. So you're stimulating your checks in the early days while your network's building. So if you're not recruiting, you're not going to generate customer acquisition bonuses. But the other part, more importantly, the matching bonuses. The matching bonuses, if you bring someone into the business, they're called a level 1 matching bonus. Now, if you've got a level 1 matching bonus, that can be paid as high as 30% match based on their team commissions. Now, if you've only got 10 people in your business, your matching bonuses are going to be quite flimsy. So the more people you have on your frontline recruitment, the more matching bonuses are possible to generate. Not only 30% on your first level, but you think about all the people that your first level bring into onto the second level, onto the third level, and so on. So it's really important for those matching bonuses. Also, every person you bring in recruitment wise is the start of a potential sapphire leg. And that is really important when you start progressing up to these director levels and above in the plan. So you need to bring new people in to start off potential sapphire legs. So at the ruby level, you need 2 sapphire legs. Emerald level, you need 4. Diamond level, you need 6. When you get to the diamond level and above, it becomes even more important that you've been recruiting in the early days, because to get to double diamond, you need 2 diamond legs. So I'm sure you can get the picture here. The comp plan really does have a high, heavy influence on recruitment. Why else should you recruit? Because recruiting gives you full control of your business. When I say full control, it means you're not relying on anyone else. You just go out there and bring a new person on. If you want to stimulate your business, you bring someone else into the business who will bring other people into the business. So you get full control of your business. That allows you to dictate the momentum in your business. When we talk about momentum, again, some people come in and they'll hit the ground running, 10, 15, 20 people in the early days. They can create massive momentum, and it really does get back to what people individually want in the business. Because some people really have a 5-year plan to fire their boss, but some people have this big vision where they want to earn full-time income in 12 months. They want to earn potential life-changing income or even rock star income in a 2 to 3 year period, and that's very possible as well. But enrollments can allow that momentum to happen. I always say to people, they come to me, they say, Craig, my business is plateaued. Craig, I'm not earning the money that I'd like to be earning. I always say 10 new enrollments fix most problems in your business, because you usually find that 1 to 2 people that will reignite the spark. You're inspiring your team. You hear the old cliche of, you got to walk the walk, not talk the talk. So you get to inspire your team. If they see you bringing new people in and introducing to the team, welcome this person, they will get that bug and do it too. So the psychology is incredibly important. I always talk about 1 enrollment can change your business life. And I gave a number of examples on the weekend, but I always talk about the best work practice that, one of our leaders did, who introduced someone who introduced a customer, and that person introduced one lady that was responsible for thousands and thousands and thousands of people to come into the business. So we always have this best work practice attitude and philosophy, because you never know. 1 enrollment, whether it's a customer or a business person, may share the story to 1 person that can turn your business upside down. And I've seen that happen a number of times now, and it's happened to me personally. Introducing 1 person in the Philippines is now thousands of people, all around the world, because of that 1 enrollment. So it's always important to focus on enrollment and always present yourself with best work practice. Do your best job all the time. So now, how do we improve our ability as a recruiter? So this is a collective, is 12, 13, 14 areas, if you can improve on, will allow you to become better at that recruitment process. So my number 1 tip, and these aren't in order, I guess, is this is the best tip, the next one's the second best. This is like 12 or 13 different tips, but this one here is probably the most important overall, and it's called belief. I always talk about 1% of doubt will always override 99% of belief. So if you're sitting in the audience today, you're listening to this presentation, you want to build a great business, but there's something in your back of your mind that's just questionable. And that questionable thing could be, do these products really work? I'm new to the business. Do they really work? If that is a question that's running in the back of your mind because you knew it all sounds exciting, you need to go and get belief in the products. If it's Jeunesse Global, you need to probably go and speak to a few people to validate them, to give you belief in Jeunesse Global. If it's the industry, a lot of people look at this industry and don't treat it as a real multi-million dollar business and industry. This industry is what I call the new age of business. It's revolutionizing the way we do business. So if it's the industry, you may need to go and educate yourself generically on business trends, the way we do business, the new age economy, this industry directly. So it's really, really important. And most important is, if you don't believe in yourself, maybe you do need to go and do some personal growth along the way to help you grow as a person and improve your mindset. Tip number 2 is called vision. And I always say to people, the best recruiters can often cast the best vision. And I shared my vision on the weekend to people, and I'll share it again at the end of today's presentation as well. But, this vision, you're sort of like connected in the web of the opportunity. And if you can really, put that out to your potential prospect or to your leaders, and you can share the vision, and you usually capture the vision at international conventions or national conventions when you've met the owners, when you've met leaders that have already walked, paved the way. That's where you can start capturing the vision. If you've had an experience by going on a free trip, you can start feeling the heartbeat of the company, and it just resonates out of you. So it's really important to understand the Jeunesse story and understand their vision and where they're going, sharing your vision and where you're going, why you're committed to this journey. So if you can cast a better vision, you become a better recruiter. Always talk about making recruiting fun. I enjoy recruiting. My 2 favorite things in this business, I love training people, I love sharing my knowledge. The second favorite thing is I love going out there and basically prospecting people, trying to get people to join me on the journey. And I treat this process like panning for gold. It's really, you're looking for those gold nuggets in that pan, and that's why I treat recruiting, making it fun. I enjoy the process. I love getting on the phone. I love calling people. I love the challenge of bringing them into the business. I love casting my vision. I love, the thrill of the chase in some circumstances. I've followed people up for 12, 18 months, 2 years. I'm still chasing the very, very, very first person that I prospected on day one in the business. So treat the recruitment process and make this business fun, hanging out with great people, wanting to be a part of the team, wanting to hang around people like-minded, open-minded, fun people, positive people. Just make your journey a fun process. Always talk about some basic fundamentals of recruitment. In any business, your database is your biggest asset. So make sure you have a big asset and have a list that's down on paper. It's not just in your phone. It's not just in your brain. It's actually down on paper or in some sort of system that you can manage in a diary or whatever it is, and make that list as long as your arm, at least 200 people on it. Then segment your list, because segment your list into people that on your list that are open-minded, would be prepared to listen to the story, people that are go-getters, always interested in new projects, never standing still. Then you've got your next list of people that might be passionate about health, beauty, new age, nutrition, skincare, whatever it is. There's a lot of people on the planet interested in that type of product range, so you need to approach them differently to your first group. Your next group of people might be some family, friends, people that like you, trust you, respect you, but may not necessarily be interested in the business, but you're gonna go to them and tell the whole story anyway. And then your last group of people, your best case scenario is a referral. And those group of people might be, they think the sky's falling in. They're the type of person that if you gave them a gold brick, they're going to say, gee, that's heavy. They don't look at the value of the gold in the brick. So I always keep them aside, and my best approach for them is a referral based approach. Let's talk about practice makes perfect. If you want to be a golfer, and you've never swung a golf club before in your life, you don't go and hole in one the first hole. You swing the club, you miss the ball. You swing the club, you miss the ball. You hit it, it goes along the ground. You hit it a little bit further, then it gets up in the air. Practice makes perfect. So you need to go out, talk to people, learn from it, and then get better. Always use your leaders to work with to share the vision, to provide support, someone that you can use as your hitting partner, someone that's usually already at least that 50 cycle mark in the business, someone that's got a really incredibly solid business. And 20 presentations with that person's often a really good grounding for you to move forward. Tip number 5 is your warm market. So occasionally people come to me and say, Craig, I want to build this business, but I don't want to go to friends and family. And that there is a big, big alarm bell. For me, I say, hey, maybe this opportunity might not be for you because you don't believe enough in the product. So you don't believe enough in the opportunity, because you should, if you're building a business, want to share the good news about incredible products to your closest, your nearest and dearest. If you don't want to do that, you need to either A, get belief in those products, or B, probably find a new opportunity. And for me, I use the example of I couldn't sell cigarettes. It wouldn't matter how much money was on the table for that as a sales rep and opportunity. I've never had a cigarette in my life. I don't believe in it. I don't like it. I don't like people doing it around me. So it makes it very hard for me to build a business in that sort of industry. So this is really important. You need to believe enough that you are actually offering something that every person on the planet not only needs but wants. So that's really important. It's tied back to that number 1 tip, belief. Understanding your prospects. This is really, really important. We talked about list segmentation and the way you approach people, but also every person on the planet is different. We're all like snowflakes. There's no identical one. And there's lots of different trainings out there, generic trainings. We often do one called Colors to Success, which categorizes people into 4 personality types. But most importantly, you need to really ask lots of questions. For me, when I'm building rapport with someone that I'm just meeting, I'm asking lots of questions to find out how I can angle the story into Jeunesse. So, I might ask questions about their job, or it might be about, if they've had success in the past. It could be a bit about their family or what they like doing. Also, if I know someone that I'm prospecting, I'll go and do a bit of research. So if I've got a business card on someone, which I did in Sydney on the weekend, I'll go into Facebook, or I might try and Google them. I might try and find out a bit more information so I know who I'm talking to. And I often use this, and I'll give you my script at the end, but on LinkedIn, when I'm prospecting people, I want to present my story to them. I want to open the idea of this as an opportunity. I've already read their LinkedIn profile. I know their last 4 jobs. I know how long they've been in them. I know from their about me a bit about where they're heading in life. So I use that as, I guess, knowledge in the background for when I'm presenting the opportunity to them. So it's really important to do a bit of research and understand your prospect. Tip number 7, I call it the mirror test. And I simply ask this question: would you join yourself? So go and have a good look in the mirror and say, hey, I wouldn't join myself. So how can I expect anybody else to join me? And there's a lot of different areas. You got to understand your posture. If you come across as a timid person, you lack confidence, that's an area you need to improve in. It's all about your personal brand. People do join people. So if you wouldn't join yourself, the good thing is you can fix that. Improve your personal appearance, the way you address people, your respect as a person on the planet. That's a really important part. That might be the reason people are not joining you. I always talk about tip number 8, facts tell and stories sell. You really do need to master your story. You need to master it to a point that people will join you because your story is so powerful, so compelling. You'd like Steven Spielberg to pick up the phone and call you and say, wow, I would like to do a movie on you. That's how amazing your story is. Master the Jeunesse story. The best recruiters can share the vision, but they can tell the Jeunesse story to a level that people go, wow, I'm really interested in this company and this opportunity. Also, master the industry story. And the industry story is the change of the way business is now done, the movement of corporate to home business, the emergence of the internet, the emergence of social media, the emergence of smartphone technology, and why this industry is absolutely booming and thriving. Why do now banks want you to bank on their app? Why do airlines now want you to buy their flights on their app? Because they're trying to move with the new age of business. That's why this industry's absolutely thriving. Your pitch is easiest when you can master these 3 stories with passion. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And if your story is flimsy, or you don't feel that your story is that interesting, at least know everybody else's story. So if you meet a personal trainer, you share my story. If you meet a public speaker that's moved into Jeunesse, you share their story. If you meet a party planner that's moved into Jeunesse and doing well, you share their story. If it's a stay-at-home mum, you share their story. If it's a young person, you share. You've got to really know and pick up these stories that they sort of sit in your goodie bag, and you bring them out when you need it. It's really important to understand when you're telling the story, you tell the part that's relevant to that person. So when I'm asking questions, they say they're in a corporate job, or they might say they're in a business, I really utilize my part of the story of, if it's in a corporate job, I say, hey, I've got 2 uni degrees, I work in the corporate world. I fired my boss after 2 years because I had that entrepreneurial spirit. Turning up at 8 in the morning and going home at 5 o'clock didn't fit my model. That's when I found business, which led on to this. So you've got to really make sure that you're not just telling your entire story all the time, you're telling the part that's relevant to the person. Listen, ask questions, know when and where to angle your story. Establish common ground with a person. It's good if someone's owned a business. Yeah, that's great. I owned a business too. It's good if someone has a passion for sport. I love sport too. You got to establish common ground. It helps massively for building rapport. Always talk about the ABCs. These are the game plans. Game plan A for me is pitching the business, signing someone up on an ambassador back. They've done the training the first 48 hours and they're ready and rolled executives straight away and on their way for their first 30. That is my holy grail angle and how I'm trying to pitch. If I can't get them into the business, it's trying to get them at least to sign up and explore the opportunity. Game plan B is, okay, I'm moving to more of a product-based focused approach. So you're not interested in the business, but hey, these products here are products that people are buying. If you're buying them, you might actually find better value in our products. Or I say, why don't you just try the product for 100 days and you can often feel 100% better. Game plan C is, gee, I approach you because you're entrepreneurial. I understand you're busy and the time's not right for you now. Really thought you would have been interested in these products. You're healthy, fit, always taking pride in your appearance. The reason I contacted you is because you've got an incredible network. I know it may not be for you at this point in time, but do you know anyone that might be interested in A, making some extra money, or B, our products? You're always needing to build your list. So referral program is essential. So I go, A, get them into the business. If that fails, get them in on product. If that fails, ask for referrals. This is one of the best business tools, three-way calls. My day and calendar is pretty much jam-packed every day with three-way calls. To be good at three-way calls, you've got to learn how to generate interest, piquing people's interest. You've got to get good at edifying an expert, so telling someone else's story, giving them a reason to get on the phone. You need to set the call up professionally. You need to follow the call up professionally. We often refer to it as best work practice. Treat this as a meeting that Donald Trump may be coming to. So that there is improving, generating interest. Why should I get on the call? Then edifying the expert and then setting up the call professionally. Always talk about network marketing. I mentioned I enjoy the chase. I treat and I really believe this industry or success in life is very much like a bit of a game of chess. So you're delivering information. So you've taken one step forward. They've asked for something else. You've gone back and regathered that information. Then you've gone back to the information and the timing might not be right. So you go back again. They go onto your list. You reapproach them again because we've got a new product. We've got a new business tool. Something else has happened. You've had more success. They've given you another, okay, I am interested, get me some more information. So it's always backwards and forwards, and the best people in this industry understand the psychology behind that. If you get good at that, you'll get better at recruiting. The fortunes in the follow-up, I use this as one of my best strategies. I'd classify it as one of the areas that I'm incredibly good at. For those that heard my story on the weekend, I followed a lady up who had a tremendous success in this industry. I followed her up for 12 months every month. I got 11 no's, something changed in her life, the timing became right, and then she goes, I'm open. And I caught her in a great window. Then there was another 30-year veteran of the industry who was on stage and said Craig was following me up for 18 months. He was trying to have lunch. He was trying to do everything. But there was probably half a dozen people in the room that didn't just join me on day one, but because I kept being professional, I kept following up, I kept not being pushy, respectful, but always just sharing information, people trusted and respected me. You always set yourself up to call them back. So I say, they'll want more information. I'll say, no problems. I'll get this information. I'll give you a call on, Tuesday at 4 p.m. Does that work good for you? So I'm sort of booking a meeting at the end of the phone call. I don't leave it as a dead end situation. If it's a no and the timing's not right, I say, look, I usually follow people up every 3 to 6 months because we're always launching new products. People's timing change. I give people a bit of an update. I'll give you a call in 3 to 6 months just to give you an update. You never know. Things may have changed. So timing is everything. And sometimes you catch people when it's not good time, and sometimes the timing may be perfect. Remember, one enrollment can change everything. So no is just not now. It doesn't mean no forever. There's always new product launches, new business tools, new countries opening. There's always a reason to follow people up. We talk about social media briefly here, a strategy for recruiting. The way I use social media is to build my list of quality contacts. So my two favorites are Facebook and LinkedIn. On Facebook, I use that because that's me telling my story. I'm providing value. I use LinkedIn to get people that are more qualified because LinkedIn professionals are trying to sell themselves. So I spend most of my time on those two. I do use Instagram. I'm not big on Twitter. I've just signed up for that new thing, Periscope. I'm going to have a go and play around with that. But what I'm trying to do is build my list of quality contacts. I'm trying to add value, not sell anything to anyone, but I want people to look at me as an industry expert. So I'm trying to add value, make myself look real, make myself look professional, have a brand. I'm not on there saying join my business today. I'm never on there saying here's the product, buy it now. I'm using that to build my brand and list. And here's my social media script. I've never met the person. It's a cold market. I often say to them, hi, my name's Craig Schultz. I'm an entrepreneur from Melbourne. We're friends on Facebook, or we're friends on LinkedIn. I've noticed you've been doing a bit of home business. Is that something you're doing full-time or part-time? So after I've said that, what I'm waiting for is a response. Now, I've already built that bond and connection by saying we're friends on. All right. So when I'm waiting for the response, they might say, yeah, you know what? I am doing this company full time. I love it, blah, blah, blah. When they've told me that, that's when I'll go into a different part. And that may be, well, they're really, really happy. So I'm going to back off a bit there and say, well done. I love this industry. I've been in this industry too myself for this amount of time, really passionate about it. I'm sharing my vision for the future with them in that situation. Or they might say that they're doing it part-time alongside their job. I say, wow, I started like that too. I love this industry. I've done incredibly well. I did start doing it very part-time. I owned a number of gyms at the time, but I knew and believed in this industry. When I found the right company, I gave it everything I've got, and in the last X amount of time, I've become a full-time income owner. I've sold my job, So I'm basically waiting for that response and then applying a part of my story. If it looks at they just respect me, build a bit of rapport, I'll usually then congratulate them, then say, oh, I really thank you for taking the time to have a quick chat. Now we're friends on social media. You might see my posts a bit more now because we've actually had a physical conversation, not just another number on social media. Then I'll follow on back up with a message and say, really appreciate you taking the time today. Just in case you are interested, these are the products or the company that I'm involved in. Put them on my list to re-follow up again in 3 to 6 months' time. That's my social media script and strategy. Mission Next 30. So I talked about at the start about the importance of recruitment, importance of enrolling people, why we should do it. We've gone through a phase now where I've given you areas to improve that will improve your overall recruitment. I set this mission on the weekend. This is my challenge. Focus on 30 new enrollments by the end of the calendar year. This is going to help you lay new foundations for the future, which is really, really important. If you want to treat this as a business, it will be a business. I'm going to cast my vision to finish off before I answer questions. But, I always talk to people about, hey, I believed in this industry. I was educating myself. I was at a stage in my traditional business where, I felt that I just wasn't getting ahead. I was doing okay and I was able to invest the old school way, buying a bit of property and so on, but I wasn't happy. I didn't have the time that I wanted. I was getting to an age where I was getting a bit frustrated that I wasn't getting ahead as quick as I wanted. This industry and Jeunesse Global's absolutely changed everything. 4 years ago, I was getting up at 10 to 5 in the morning, getting home at 8 o'clock at night, just getting by. By really believing in myself and what I was prepared to do and take action, I've been able to sell 5 gyms, do this industry full time, but not just do the industry full time. I'm now looking at houses that are not $1 million houses, they're in multi-million dollar zones. I now go on holidays when I want. I now, don't have to worry about money anymore. I am really living a dream lifestyle, which is dream for me, but may not be for everyone. I love what I do. But what I love even more is where Jeunesse is heading. I believe that we've just laid our foundations. Jeunesse will have another killer product that comes out beyond Instantly Ageless. This is like probably the most exciting time of the company. Their foundations have laid. They've grown month after month after month. We're on the verge of breaking history to become the youngest company in 100 years to do $1 billion of sales in that time. We are at the tip of the iceberg. I believe the momentum wave will be swinging through over the next 12 to 24 months. We get such a good opportunity globally. The visionary leaders are driving another successful business from what they've already achieved in their last 40 years. I challenge everyone to seize the moment. Don't watch it go by. I believe that Jeunesse is going to be not just a billion-dollar brand, but a multi-billion-dollar brand. We're right now at about $100 million a month a market. Just imagine if you're a part of that next phase, that next wave where we're doing 200 million a month, 300 million a month. There's so much growth and so much scope in this opportunity. I really, truly hope that you do see something in it to do what's happened to me, a 3 to 4 year full transformation to completely live life on my terms. And I'm glad we had a huge number on today. I have recorded this so you can share the vision, share my tips with your teams. I'll put it up in the usual spots. I'm just going to take a quick minute to turn the recording off